What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this brand new 2019 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. Huge thank you to Benson Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this Jeep for today's video. I'll have all their information down in the description below. They have a huge selection, all the brand new Jeeps and other Chrysler vehicles, so definitely check them out. And the model that we're looking at today is the Rubicon, finished off in pumpkin metallic, and has an MSRP of $59,000. Underneath the hood, this features a 3.6-liter V6 engine that produces 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. This engine is paired to the optional 8-speed automatic transmission, and with a curb weight around 4,400 pounds, you can expect to get 18 miles per gallon in the city and 23 on the highway. The overall length is 188.4 inches with a wheelbase of 118.4. We have a height of 73.6 inches and a minimum ground clearance of 10.8. The Rubicon has an approach angle of 44 degrees, a breakover angle of 27.8 degrees, and a departure angle at 37 degrees. Max towing capacity is around 3,500 pounds, and being the Rubicon, this has the 4-to-1 Rock Track heavy-duty part-time four-wheel drive system, true lock front and rear axles, the 410 axle gear ratio, and then Dana 44 axles front and rear. The front end of the all-new JL Wrangler has the classic Jeep design with the LED round headlights. We have the 7 vertical grille slots. This Rubicon also features the multi-piece steel front bumper with a cutout for a winch. We have 2 red tow hooks, fog lights on both sides, and a nice cutout to see the tire. This has the optional body-colored fender flares with LED daytime running lights in them as well. We have Rubicon written out on the hood. An aggressive design on the hood with functional heat extraction vents up top, really cool dome shape in the center, and then a swooping line wrapping all the way around. This features 17-inch wheels finished off in a two-tone silver and black design, all wrapped in a Falcon off-road tire. We get ventilated disc brakes in all 4 corners and a nice little Jeep logo within the rim. The side profile has that classic Wrangler look, very boxy in design. We do have more contours in the body comparing it to the JK generation. There's a swooping body line from the mirrors that stays above the door handles, goes all the way to the rear end of the vehicle. And then in the lower section, this features a steel rock rail beneath the doors. This features a body-colored roof and is actually the optional one-touch power top. Pressing one button on the interior, the entire soft top portion of the roof will fold back. Making our way to the rear end of the Wrangler, we get the 5th wheel mounted on the tailgate, classic for the Jeep Wrangler. Standard backup cameras mounted within that. We get another steel bumper in the rear with your parking sensors, trailer hitch, as well as another red tow hook. The new taillight design for the JL has a little bit more contour to it comparing it to the JK generation. And then we have a grab handle in the back with the lock-unlock button. So there's a good look at the exterior as well as some of the specifications of this JL Rubicon. I love the overall design with these JLs. I think they did a great job updating it from the previous generations, just giving it a more classy appearance. And then one thing very cool for the rear end, while this comes with 35-inch tires, this third taillight is actually adjustable. So if you put bigger wheels, lift your Jeep, you can actually adjust that to still keep the factory design. We also get the gas cap over on the driver's side. Awesome look overall. What do you guys think of the JL comparing it to a JK Wrangler? I definitely like the upgrades with it, especially being this Rubicon, the hood, the wheels, the steel bumpers all around, and the body colored fender flares. I think this thing has a great overall look. So now to go ahead and take a look at the interior, the key fob has a cool rugged design to it. Looks like a Jeep key. If we go ahead and lock it, we can double tap the engine start button. And then pressing the button again, we can go ahead and shut it off. Still with the truck locked, all I have to do is grab the door handle, automatically unlocks, and you can lock it using the button on the door handle. So now this has the full black leather interior. We get a lot of red accent stitching to it as well. And then to start up with the door panel, we have the black leather along the armrest, some red stitching, a nice storage net in the whole lower side. Your lock, unlock, all your mirror controls, and then the door release handle. And then beneath the armrest, you can grab this to help take the doors off, which is a great touch. Moving our way inside, you can see the black leather along the seating. We have manual controls on the side. Twisting this knob, you have your lumbar support, your recline, and then to slide it forward and back, we have a lever in the front. You can get a good look at all the stitching. Really nice design to them. Rubicon written out up top. Then your headrest with some more stitching on it. And then now inside, we're greeted by a black leather steering wheel. You can see some of the red stitching on it. We have all your Bluetooth and audio controls over on the left side, all your cruise control settings over on the right side. Keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and start it up. And then using the buttons over on the left side of the steering wheel, we can go through the screen in the center. So right now we have your battery voltage. We can scroll over to different tire pressures. We have the coolant temperature, your transmission temperature, more temperatures and pressures. And then going up and down, we can scroll through different items. We have the digital speedometer. Audio will come up, and then you can also take a look at your trip information, driver assistance, and then different off-road modes. We can see if the sway bars are connected or not, and then your drivetrain. On the left side of the steering wheel, we have all your headlight controls as well as the dimming switch, a nice air vent. We get some black leather with more of the red stitching along the dash, a little bit of a storage pocket up in the center. We also have a really good view out to take a look at the hood. And then this has the optional 8.4-inch touchscreen display. Very nice configurations. We have shortcut keys along the center, which is a really cool touch. You can just tap right there to go all to your climate. We have heated seats and your heated steering wheel. You can hit the backup camera icon to take a look at that. We have your navigation, all the normal settings that you're going to find in here. We can go ahead and turn climate right off. We can go into radio, and then hitting the apps icon in the center, we have more items you can add, and you can put these right here on the lower section. So if I hold this button down, I can drag it and actually replace that one. So if my passenger always wants to have their heated seat button, they can have a nice shortcut right there. Other items you can configure as well. Below the actual screen, we have manual controls for all the climate, so you can actually just hit the button, which is a great feature, and it comes up on the screen as well, so you don't always have to dive right into the nav system. Heated steering wheel controls, the passenger seat, all the climate control settings. We can go ahead and turn it on. It also tells you on the screen what's going on. You can adjust your fan speed. We have your volume and audio control over on the left side, as well as tuning on the right side. More screen controls, your parking sensor button, traction control, the engine on-off feature. And then below that, we have all your window controls, automatic for both front seats. We have a 12-volt over on the left side. Popping this up, we have USBs as well as an auxiliary. We have an auxiliary package in this vehicle, so if you're hooking up extra lights or air compressors, you have that capability. This has a leather-wrapped shift boot with some red stitching on it, leather around the grab handle, and a classic-looking Jeep design up top. Putting the vehicle into neutral now. I can grab the 4-wheel drive lever, pull us back into 4 high, and as you can see, it changes up on the screen as well. And then if we push it over and down, we'll go into neutral, and then 4 low. So now that we're in 4 low, traction and stability is all off now. We are in the full-on 4 low section. So now if I press this up, we can lock the front and rear axle, as you can see in the top left corner, and then even hitting the sway bar disconnect, we can disconnect the sway bars. This has a manual parking brake as well as 2 cup holders and a nice slot for your phone. Opening up the center console, we have a pretty good amount of space in here as well as a USB. And then closing it down, this is lockable with a lock over on the left side. More of the black leather and red stitching. And then coming over to the right side, we can see this silver finish on the dash, giving it a nice updated appearance. We have Wrangler stamped out into the grab handle. And then taking a look at the glove box, we have a pretty good amount of space in here. You can see the owner's manual, so definitely good space in here. And it is lockable as well. We can get a good look at the overall interior. The JL is a huge upgrade comparing it to the JK. I love the leather seating on it. We have some great lines all throughout the interior, help giving the JL a unique look. And then we have a frameless mirror up top, your controller for the actual roof, just pressing the button back, the whole roof will fold right back. And now to take a look at the rear seat space for the Wrangler. It's finished off very similar to the front. We get the black leather, all the red stitching throughout. We have nets behind each front seat, and then the door panel's finished off with the same black leather and red stitching. We even get a cargo net. So now we're gonna go ahead and hop on inside. And I actually have the driver's seat all the way back, so this is actually pretty impressive to see the legroom I get. My knees have about 2 or 3 inches, even with this all the way back, so if I had it forward to my height, 5'11", I'd have even more space. But sitting back here, the armrest is in a really good spot. It's pretty open and roomy in here. I like how you can see this window right there. You have a lot of glass right next to you, and then a lot of headroom with this roof. And then pulling this latch right here, we can fold this down to reveal your armrest as well as some cup holder space. Folding it back up, this is actually the headrest for the middle seat, but you can see a really good look overall. And then in the center, we have your 2 air vents as well as all your window controls right here. Taking a look at the rear storage space, you can just grab the door handle and this will swing right out. It even locks all the way open, so you don't have to worry about it falling back in the closed position. Just grabbing the glass right here, this will open up. We can get a good look at the overall space for the rear. Really nice touch. We even get body colored on the roll cage, but definitely a ton of space in here. Grabbing this handle up, we have some more storage space down below. And then all these holes are for the bolts to take the roof and windshield off, and then all the door hinges over here. On the right side, we do have the Alpine sub in the back to help give this a lot of great audio. And then each seat has a lever on it. If you pull the one over on this inside, the headrest will fold down, and then over on the left side, the entire seat will fold down. And of course we can repeat that with the other, and just doing this once, everything goes down as well. And now with both seats folded down, you can see just how much more space we have in the Jeep. Definitely super versatile. Now, one truly iconic thing about the Jeep Wrangler is the fact that you can remove the doors, the roof, and the windshield. Pretty much no other vehicle has features like that. On the hinges, you just unbolt this and these doors pop right off. And then all you have to do is unplug the actual cable to disconnect them. And then another cool feature with the power roof, we already saw the power top that folds back, but these third windows actually are removable as well. There's a latch on each top here. All we have to do is pull them back like that and then grab the other one on the inside, and you can completely remove this last panel. And with that panel off, you can see how cool it looks now. Imagine if the door was off, you have so much room here now, taking that roof off experience. Being the power roof, you're really not going to remove the rest of it. That's just a lot more hassle. You're going to want to opt for the standard body color or the plastic roof. But at least in this configuration, having those windows out, the doors off, and then the roof slid back, very open feeling, and it'll make this even more fun to drive. So we're about to set off in the Rubicon just to see what it's like out on the road. You will notice the Jeep Gladiator sitting right there. That video will be linked down in the description below. But as we leave the parking lot right now, this is all gravel, so a little bit of off-roading for an off-road vehicle. Obviously, this is one of the most, if not the most capable SUV out on the market. But even just taking it on some bumps right now, you can definitely tell how the Wrangler is at home hitting the dirt. Just hitting the bumps now, of course. I mean, you have the articulation with the solid front and rear axles. This is exactly where this truck likes to be, but definitely puts a smile on your face hitting some bumps with it. But we're gonna see what it's like out on the road, because the JL is a huge difference comparing it to the JK as far as road going capabilities. But we have a big pothole to hit, so have a little bit of fun off road, and now we're back on road. Now, I've driven the JK quite a bit. I've driven the 2-door and the 4-door ones. The Unlimited is definitely what I like, just because I think the full 4-door gives you a lot of versatility with it. But driving it right now, it is definitely pretty smooth out on the road. I love the visibility. I can't get over just how cool it looks looking out. I can see the entire hood right in front of me. The dash is only like 4 inches, so it's really small. The mirrors do a great job letting me know what's behind me, and then having the frameless rear view mirror, that does a really good job. Looking over my left and right shoulder, the visibility is fantastic in this vehicle. And I like how I can fold down the rear seat headrest. That just makes it so visibility is a little bit better. But driving it now on the road, it definitely is pretty good comparing it to the JK. It's not necessarily amazing out on the road like a normal SUV would be, but you gotta remember, with this type of vehicle, it has such good off-road capabilities. You can literally take half of the vehicle apart and then destroy the trails, doing some crazy rock crawling and mud bogging with this thing. So on-road capability is still pretty impressive, how it seems pretty normal out here. There's a little bit of wind noise just because we do have the soft top in the center and the shapes of the car. It's not exactly aerodynamic like a sports car or something. But coming to a stop now, brakes do a really good job. We'll get a little bit of an idea of how it is getting up and going, but let's see what the power's like. Not bad. We got right up to 40 pretty easily, so it's definitely a little bit more peppy than the JK was. So I like how it's at least adequately powered to get up and go for on-ramps and highway cruising like that. And then the 8-speed automatic seems to do a really good job shifting through gears. I think that was probably one of the downfalls with the previous generations. I think it had either a 4 or a 5-speed automatic, which really left you needing a lot more gears to use the power. So this thing, it doesn't have the craziest amount of horsepower and torque, but having 8 gears, that makes it utilize it so much better to where it feels very nicely powered. So then as we take some turns on it, the steering is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's, of course, direct like any type of sports car. It's not quite as vague as the previous generation was. Taking a sharp turn now, there's really not that much body roll. You can tell a little bit that the vehicle is a little floaty for steering and stuff like that. It's got a little bit of play to the steering wheel, but overall not too bad for the capabilities that this thing has to offer. One thing I really like is the new design for the dashboard. We have a lot of technology in this. We do have the backup camera, the blind spot monitoring, all the touchscreen settings within the screen with heated seats and the steering wheel. And then all the climate control is very easy to get used to. So I like how this is very updated comparing it to the previous generation. But now getting some more miles with the JL out on the road, the only real thing I noticed as far as on-road capability is just the steering is a little bit vague comparing it to like a normal SUV. But given the capabilities this thing has off-road, you're not really sacrificing that much on-road capabilities to have the best off-road capabilities. I think the ride quality is much better than the JK. It seems very smooth. The suspension is doing a great job absorbing all the bumps. It's definitely planted feeling. I just think, like I said, the steering is just the only thing that's a little vague. I think the front end is a little distant from what I'm wanting it to do. But aside from that, on-road capability is definitely a big improvement and pretty good for just a normal SUV. If you want to daily drive this, of course, this would be a perfect daily. You can do a lot of things with it. And then doing a sharp U-turn to get an idea of the turning circle. pretty tight turning circle. I think the two-door is going to be a little bit sharper, just being a shorter vehicle. So now we are on a beautiful sunshiny day. Let's hold this button down and see what it's like with the roof open. All right, so with the roof open now, I love how with the Jeeps you can take the doors off, the roof off, those rear third windows off. But I like being power. You can do this on the fly, just press the button, it only takes a few seconds. I don't think I'm yelling too much for the camera to hear me, but it's a nice windy ride. It's not too windy to annoy you if you're like on the highway or something, but it's enough wind in here just to make you feel the open top experience. Endless headroom, which is amazing. And then if I go ahead and put all the windows down, fronts are automatic, rears just gotta hold down for a second. But it's a really cool ride in the Jeep, just cruising now with some air flowing in the car. It'd be awesome to have the doors off and everything like that, but definitely a sweet touch. So then getting up to another sharp turn. Yeah, body roll is way limited comparing it to previous ones. And then getting up and going. No shortage on power, it gets up pretty good. And then just going over some quicker turns. And the roof is auto, so just when you hold the button real quick, it'll go ahead and automatically close or open. But I love how quick that is. Super convenient comparing it to the manual roof. So I like how with the Jeep you can really opt for the exact spec and the trim level you want to get the roof that works for you. You can get the standard black plastic one that removes in 3 separate pieces. You can get a body color, you can get the soft top, which is a little bit more convenient depending on if you have the space to store the actual hard top. But I kind of like this roof the most just because on a day-to-day basis you press one button, it opens up, and the rear glass pieces are super easy to get out, so you can almost get that full roof off experience. You really just have the roof pillar along the whole top left, which really isn't too much. But I think that's about going to wrap up at least on-road testing with the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. This thing is so capable off-road. I've been in a few off-road and they are surprisingly capable. Although I wouldn't really say it's surprising because you know these things are super capable. But these things have so much to offer. The Wrangler has been around for many, many decades now, and there's a reason why. They kind of put a smile on your face whenever you're in them. I like the better on-road capabilities with the JL. Still fantastic off-road capabilities. The swaybar disconnect, the locking differentials, the low-range gearbox, the Rubicon with the upgraded suspension, all that type of off-road capabilities. So that is a full look at the 2019 JL Wrangler Rubicon. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And once again, huge thank you to Benson, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this vehicle for today's video. I'll have all their information down in the description below. Definitely check them out for your next vehicle. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a huge thumbs up. Smash the subscribe button. See you guys in the next video.